Fashion and jewelry brand founders. This video is on scaling to 4 million plus efficiently with this distribution strategy. If your fashion or jewelry brand has best sellers, product market fit, and you just need the right distribution strategy to scale to 4 million plus efficiently, then watch this video. This is the distribution strategy we use to scale fashion and jewelry brands online, like the ones below, for over 5 years efficiently and profitably. So, some of the fashion brands we scale are Nana Jacqueline, Nonchalant Label, New York Dress, JMP The Label, Stone Fox Swim, and many more. Some of the jewelry brands we scale, Deepak Gurnani, De Marson, and many more. And over 17 fashion and jewelry brand founders like you made video testimonials on the results with this strategy. If you want to see them after this video, you can, if you're on Instagram, check it out in the link in bio, or on YouTube, check it out in the video description. For example, Nonchalant Label, they said from the last year up to this year, so 1 year working with us, they're up almost 400% on their sales. So pretty much we 4x'd their entire online business. And you can see all of it later after this video. Now, here's one fashion brand we scaled to 4 million plus with this strategy. So before working with us, her sales were 1.7 million. This is net sales. Her average order value is $464. So this is nothing cheap. In 1 year, we helped her scale to over 2.5 million in net sales online, as you can see here. And the next year, we helped her scale to over 4 million in net sales a year. Keep in mind, this was post-COVID, a time where many brands were seeing their sales decline and inflation increasing rapidly. So this strategy works despite market conditions. I'm Brandon, one of the co-founders of Digiceptual. We specialize in scaling fashion and jewelry brands. This is so you know that the strategy actually works and not just some theory or AI-generated text I just made up. Now, this distribution strategy has nothing to do with wholesaling or through other retailers. In fact, almost all successful fashion brands we know, whether personally from what we see just see online or our clients, don't use wholesaling or other retailers to distribute at all. Mania Devoir doesn't do it, except their own retail stores, right? They own their own stores. Represent Clo doesn't do it. And many of our clients, even the ones we've helped scale to 10 million plus annually online, none of those sales are from wholesaling or other retailers. In my opinion, those methods of distribution are outdated, they're weak, and they're not necessary to scale your online sales profitably and to 4 million plus. And I'll briefly explain why. Wholesalers and retailers are just middlemen between the brand and the consumers. Because of this, profit margins are low, and that's already one big reason. 2, brands are essentially employees of the wholesalers or retailers. This is because the wholesalers and retailers have direct access to consumers, so they have all the data and all the assets. The brand just gets a paycheck, quote unquote, every time they get an order, but they don't get the most valuable thing, which is the assets like the customer list and the data. So if the middleman fails, the brand takes a massive hit, and that's what we saw during the 2021 pandemic. Many wholesalers and retailers suddenly did a 180 and basically fired brands, quote unquote, because the wholesalers and retailers were struggling too. Then brands realized how fragile this distribution method is since their paycheck, quote unquote, dried up, so they sought other solutions quickly. I know this because many brands we work with to this day came to us because of this exact problem. 3, consumers who buy from retailers are different from consumers who buy from the brands directly. Wolf and Badger buyers will be Wolf and Badger buyers. Revolve buyers will be Revolve buyers. Just because wholesalers or retailers tell you that people love your products, quote unquote, or they sell like hotcakes, it doesn't mean it will be the same result from your website, because those buyers are different from buyers that buy from your website directly, right? We've tested this many times. We've targeted retailers to stock the same products the brand has, and they don't convert. So this whole notion of brand awareness, quote unquote, and being an XYZ retailer's, quote unquote, actually doesn't make a big difference at all when it comes to scaling your online sales profitably and to scale to 4 million plus. Naturally, this makes direct-to-consumer D2C a better way of distribution because you cut out the middlemen, have higher profit margins, and most importantly, you own the assets. Now, so what is an efficient and profitable D2C distribution strategy to scale your online sales? Because costs increase every single year, and as of right now, tariffs are causing extreme volatility in the market. Consumer spending is tightening and lower, and it just seems like everything's just going to shit. To counter these factors and still scale efficiently and profitably, we use the bestseller distribution strategy. Here's how it works and how it will help your brand scale efficiently and profitably and to scale to 4 million plus. To start, what exactly are we distributing? The core of the strategy is about distributing bestsellers. The reason why we focus on bestsellers, on distributing bestsellers, is because they have demand in the market. Otherwise, they wouldn't be bestsellers. So we simply distribute that demand to more people. In an extremely competitive market like fashion and jewelry, this is necessary. Why? Because if they don't, they already are at a disadvantage compared to competitors who are. So that concisely answers what we are distributing. Now, how do we distribute bestsellers? Well, we distribute with ads, specifically Meta, Facebook, and Instagram ads. Now, more specifically, we focus on distributing to new audiences to convert them into new customers, not distributing to existing customers or existing audiences. Two big problems brands have is that their sales are plateauing or declining, or they aren't growing as fast or as profitable as they know they should be, even if their ROAS is high, quote unquote. The reason is because their ads are distributed to their existing customers and existing audiences too much. Let's illustrate this from a funnel perspective. Top of funnel, TOF, is going after new audiences and new customers. Middle of funnel, MOF, and bottom of funnel, BOF, equals remarketing and retargeting to existing audiences and existing customers. So here's a funnel, right? TOF, MOF, BOF. On average, brands are spending 30 to 40% of their ad spend on MOF and BOF. And I've seen as high as 60%, which is crazy. The reason why this plateaus sales and eventually declines sales is because, one, there's only so many times existing customers and existing audiences can buy per month. Consumers don't have bottomless wallets. They also have rent, food, and other basic needs they need to cover, right? Two, the audience size is limited. A brand doesn't have an unlimited customer list or unlimited existing audiences, meaning there's always a limited number of customers and existing audiences at any given time a brand can advertise to. For example, if a brand's customer list is 5,000, they can only advertise to a limit of 5,000 existing customers. So if a brand focuses ad spend on MOF and BOF, the customer list, 5,000 of them, will fatigue quickly. This also means the amount of sales the brand can make from the list is also limited. Take that out. For example, if on average 30% of the 5,000 existing customers, which is like 1,500 existing customers, repeat buy at an average order value of 100, that's only $150,000 in sales the brand can make from this list. Now, this is how we spend. Instead of spending 30 to 60% on MOF and BOF, we spend 96% on TOF and only 4% on MOF and BOF. So it looks like this now. Big chunk, almost all is TOF versus MOF, BOF. Basically the complete opposite of what most people do. Here's why we do this. One, the brand is already remarketing on MOF and BOF. The brand has things like email, SMS, social media posting, etc. to remarket to their customer list and existing audiences already. So if we're also focusing ads on remarketing, that's overlapping with their own remarketing efforts. It's basically spamming and pissing off their customer list and existing audiences, which is a big waste of ad spend. Two, the audience size is unlimited. Unlike a brand's customer list and existing audience size that's limited, the size of new audiences is unlimited because there's always someone new who hasn't bought from the brand before, which means the scale and growth potential is unlimited. Using the earlier example, but now in the 96% TOF perspective, if the audience size of new audiences is 1 million, just for example, and we just get 3% of 1 million, which is 30,000 new audiences to buy at an AOE of $100 and become new customers, that's 3 million in sales from new customers, right? Number three, the brand doesn't have to constantly release new products. This is a big one. If a brand focuses their ads on their existing customers and audiences, they are stuck on the hamster wheel of the sales and the ROAS are slow declining. So what do? They risk resources, cash, and time to plan and release new collections and products, which gives a short-term spike in sales and ROAS. But at a certain point, sales and ROAS start declining again, which means they have to risk resources again to launch to plan and release new collections, right? Basically stuck on this hamster wheel. However, by focusing ads on new audiences, they aren't stuck on this hamster wheel. What they simply do is just make sure their best sellers are in stock. The reason why this works is because new audiences never heard of the brand before. So it doesn't matter if the best sellers are 1, 2, or a couple years old. In the new audience's perspective, it's completely new. And since the size of new audiences is unlimited, we can just systematically get new customers profitably and scale without plateauing or declining. On average, our clients have 80% of their stock in bestsellers at all times. They don't have to constantly risk cash being tied up on new products or collections that may or may not sell. They simply reinvest cash into where the demand is, their bestsellers, having full confidence that it will continue to sell. 4, it's the only way to grow the brand's customer list and existing audiences. You can't grow your customer list and existing audiences by remarketing to them more or emailing them more, because there's always a limited amount at any given time, which means the sales you can make from them is limited at any given time. So the only way you can grow them is by getting new customers into the brand. So here's how it works. Right? You have new audiences. They see the ad, they buy, they become a new customer, they get added to the customer list, and now they're an existing customer. By doing so, now you have more people you can remarket to and email to in order to drive more sales that way. Because the only way your email list or your existing audience can grow is if you get new people in, right? So to conclude, this is simply how the bestseller distribution strategy works. You identify what exactly are your bestsellers. You distribute your bestsellers with ads to new audiences to convert them into new customers. You make sure your bestsellers are always in stock so you can keep up with the demand. And we suggest at least 80%, right? That is how you scale your fashion and jewelry brand online sales efficiently and profitably, and how you scale to 4 million plus, right? That is how we've been doing it for over 5 years and getting results for our clients. And if you want to see more actionable content like this, check out the rest of the videos we have on our social media, wherever you're watching this. If you're interested in working with us, you can book a call by either clicking the link in bio on our Instagram or the Calendly link on our YouTube. Calendly link, depending on where you're watching, right? And I suggest only booking once you've done enough research and feel that it's the right fit for you. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.